Moran, and thanks very much for joining us for What to Do When the Virtual Auditor Comes. This is part 3 of a 4-part series. You can reach me at jim@simplifyiso.com or over here on our website with this handy contact button. Since COVID, virtual auditing has become the new normal for registrars and certified companies. So one thing we need to keep in mind, a very important thing to keep in mind, are the use of screenshots. You'll be showing screenshots to your auditor. They'll be asking for information about some of your procedures and where you've met the requirements, but we need to be careful of confidential items. It's possible that the auditor will be able to capture the screenshot for his or her records, and confidentiality, of course, is covered in the auditor's agreement with you as far as the registrar's confidentiality goes. So we're all covered under the same umbrella. Another thing to keep in mind is the idea that people will be appearing on the screen, and it's critical that they've given their permission to be there. We have privacy laws. There are exposure that people would have to the reviewers of the information that the auditor has gathered, so permission is critical. Another thing that can happen in audits, it hasn't happened to me in a virtual audit yet, but I've had it happen 3 times in a live on-site audit. Unfortunate events can happen that could influence the objectivity of an audit. In my case, it was a fire. The challenge is to decide what to do during the audit if an unusual event does occur. We've got 3 choices. We can just interrupt the audit and continue on, make up the time if you can, perhaps keep a break shorter, work a little bit longer, do whatever you need to keep it going. Another option is to reschedule the audit if it's very serious. I've only had that happen 1 time. It was a fire and it took 2 or 3 days to clean up the area. The other fires were very short duration of interruption, so we were able to continue with those particular audits. We need to take pauses with virtual auditing, the same as regular auditing. And sometimes it feels like with virtual auditing that you don't need the pause so much because you're not moving around, you're sitting down typically. But the pause is just as important because you need a mental break to continue to be sharp, to get all your information together. Another thing to keep in mind is privacy, especially during the break. So if you're the one being audited, or if you're the auditor, make sure that you mute, and you might as well turn the camera off as well. We also need to make sure we've met all the requirements for privacy for anyone who joins us online. Could be board members, could be management, senior management team, could be any number of things. That auditors need to know how to conduct virtual meetings, interviews, and they are a bit different from a face-to-face meeting. It's important to give people time to respond to your questions. It's important for the auditor to be extremely familiar with the equipment. Practice, practice, practice. And that's a good idea for you as well as the customer to make sure you spend some time with the auditor or auditors ahead of the audit to get familiar with the equipment so everybody knows what's going to happen, knows how the equipment will be operating. In Clause A16 of ISO 18011, it talks about protocols, and we still need contingency plans and determine what the specific risks are. Just to think of a couple, obviously internet connection is an issue, and some types of software actually seem to build up a little instability during their use. So make sure your equipment will serve you for the time of the audit. You may just have to shut everything down, reboot, start up again. Maybe you could do that during one of the breaks as well. Another thing to keep in mind is our Simplify ISO webinar on virtual auditing on August 31st, 2020 at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time. You'll see a link to sign up down below the video. And remember that for virtual auditing, our platform is a tremendous asset for your organization. It has everything you and the auditor need. It's right at your fingertips. You can have documents stored there for procedures. You can have flow charts, videos, whatever you need to meet the requirements of the standard you're using. And it's very easy for everyone to access. And the auditor can even access your system ahead of time to get ready for the audit. And if you'd like to see a demo of it, just head on over to the Simplify ISO website. You'll see a big green button that says schedule a demo. Thanks very much for having a look, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you on the 31st. Hope you can join us. Bye for now, and we'll see you next time for part 4.